Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Carla and I make videos about showing up for yourself. And by showing up for myself, I managed to transform my entire life, overhaul my mental health and lose 183 pounds. But that's not what today's video is all about. In today's video, I am going to be answering your questions that you've put to me both on YouTube and on Instagram. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. About my life and about me that have nothing to do with weight loss. So a big thank you to Liz Parker who suggested this video, and thank you so much, Liz. I think it was a great suggestion and I'm really glad to see that so many of you were interested in other areas of my life. And so I am going to just hop right in. This might be a two-parter because my gosh, there were some questions and my gosh, some of you were nosy Parkers, but that's fine. Not Liz, that's just your surname is Parker. But anyway, right, let's get into it. I'm actually going to answer Liz's question first. Liz asked me about my fashion icons or inspirations. I love fashion so much. I have a background in retail. I've always been into fashion, but I've never was able to express myself in fashion the way I wanted to. And I've been kind of collecting looks ideas for years to try and find my style. And I describe my style as elegance with an edge, or elegant with an edge, or like grown-up goth. That's really my kind of style. So everything that I wear, I'm kind of like hyper feminine looks, but with like an edgy look about it. That's kind of my style, and I kind of I've transformed a little bit as well since I became a mom. My style icons are definitely people like Sammy Jeff Coty is like my #1 style icon. I think she is just absolutely amazing. I think she has YouTube. She definitely is like massive on TikTok and on Instagram as well, but she is just unbelievable. She's got that real like high-end edge look, which is exactly what I love. I also love Rock and Roll Mama. Kelsey Kills, I think her name is. Let me see, there was another one here. I like that kind of like alt kind of look. Jordan Orion. I love that kind of like elevated, elegant look. Even if I don't like exactly what somebody's wearing, I like to see what they're wearing and see how they style it and maybe put my own spin on it. That's something that I love doing. I have 2 Pinterest boards, and you can follow me on Pinterest as well, that were created for when I lose weight, and I added to them kind of prior to losing weight and at the very start, and I haven't looked at them since. And I would love to do a video, let me know if you guys are interested. I would love to do a video on my like dressing the way that those Pinterest boards, like things that I saved, maybe like 5 looks or 4 looks or something like that from them. Let me know if that's something down in the comments that you guys would be interested in. Liz also asked, here's another question, since I know you like music, what's the best concert you've ever been to? So my first gig ever, I'm a massive music lover, and my first gig ever was Bon Jovi when I was 6 in the RDS. That was in like 92. I think it was the Keep the Faith tour. Oh my god, that was amazing. That was like my introduction. I also, best gig, best concert, Rammstein in the 3 Arena, O2 Point, whatever it's called. That was unreal. Also, anytime I've seen Robert Plant, like every single time, no matter what, I think I've seen him about 10 times, they're the best because he is absolutely he's my god, and I just love watching him. Oh, and Bad Company. I saw Bad Company in the 3 Arena as well a couple of years ago, pre-pandemic, and I was so surprised. Like I love Bad Company, they're one of my favorite bands ever, but I've never seen them live and I never heard much about them like touring. And sometimes when you go and see like a band that's been around since the 70s, it can be a bit disappointing, but my god, they did not disappoint. They were professional musicians, like on it, like they were unbelievable. Rammstein just put on the most amazing show. I've seen them 3 times and they were just like amazing. Iron Maiden also always really good. Wasp, every time I see Wasp are my, oh my god, there's a Wasp kit coming up soon. Yes. Sandy asks, I'm really curious as to how and when you decided to create a YouTube channel and how becoming an influencer has or hasn't affected your weight loss maintenance journey. I'm wondering how much time do you spend creating videos, editing, etc., and what recommendations might you have for somebody else interested in making a channel? So I started sharing my journey first of all on Instagram in April 2020. So I was 3 months into my weight loss journey, so I hadn't even started like really into my weight, like I had started my Instagram after I had started my weight loss journey. And I then created my YouTube a year later. I think it was January or February 2021. And what's the question? How and when did I decide to create it? So that's when. How, I just basically, it was like, I had some ideas. I had done a couple of short videos for Instagram, and I was like, why don't I put these up on YouTube and just see if they resonate with anybody? And that's what I did. I just went for it and then just came up with ideas, and my followers started to grow, both the same on YouTube and on Instagram as well, and on like a bit on TikTok, not really, but things just started to kind of like work. How much time do I spend editing videos? So I have a new routine. So this is my full-time job, and I know there's a lot of questions about this coming up. So I work Monday to Thursday, kind of a half day on Thursday. That's when I have childcare, and I take Friday off, sort of, except when Veronica's sleeping, and Thursday afternoon. And I spend 1 to 2 days filming, and then the rest of the time I'm either editing or doing admin or doing like filming and photographs. So today, like when I'm filming this, I'm filming all day today. So I'm filming for user-generated content for other people. So that's one of the ways that I get an income, is I film content for other brands or things that I'm in brand ambassadorships with. Then I will film for my Instagram, my YouTube, and my shorts as well. And then I have the Carla content, Carla's Corner content for body slims that I do as well. So there's a lot. So I will spend the morning filming longer form videos like this, and then the afternoon filming either photographs or reels or shorts and that kind of thing. And I spend 1 day planning. So it is like, to edit a vlog, it takes about 4 to 5 hours. To edit a video, like a sit down video, I have it down to about 3 hours. It's a long project, but filming, then the setup for filming can take 45 minutes. The planning out of a video can take 2 hours, an hour. So each video that I do probably takes a full day, but I don't do it all in one day. Actually, yesterday I did it all in one day because I had messed up my schedule, and I was brain dead by the end of it. So it's a lot, and there's a lot of meetings and things like that as well. So it's a really intense job, as any job is. So my advice, if somebody wanted to set up their own YouTube, is go for it. You don't need expensive camera equipment. So here I have a ring light. I have a tripod from Amazon Basics, which is amazing. I use a Canon G7X Mark II for filming, but you can also just use your phone. Like the iPhone 13, 12, 13, 14, they're all brilliant for, they have amazing cameras, the Pro Max ones. But and then I edit on my MacBook Pro with my iMovie. If you want to do it, the thing that's really important, there's two kind of things that are really important. One is to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent with your schedule for posting. So you have to post, like if you decide that you're posting every once a week, it's best to pick a day and a time, and that's when you post. So on YouTube, so I do 2 videos a week at 5 o'clock on a Monday and a Wednesday. If you're going to do Instagram, it has to be every single day, or at least 6 days a week. Instagram are thankfully not pushing reels as much anymore, so you can still get traction from static photos again, which is phenomenal. So you can do like a combination of both, because reels was such a massive time killer. It used to take me about an hour and a half to do one static photo a day on Instagram, and like a reel could take me a full day to do, depends on the type of reel. So just, it's a lot of work. And then my other point is to be really authentic and just be yourself. If you start to copy anybody else, if you do anybody else's ideas, it's seen, it's just, you're doing a disservice to yourself. You have to be really authentic to who you are, be really honest and open, and don't be so worried. Like, you know, I find myself comparing myself to other people because it's natural to do. It's something that I constantly work on not doing. but I, you know, like, oh, my feed isn't as aesthetically pretty or something like that as somebody else's, and it's never going to be. That's just not who I am, and I don't want it to be. That's just, I like to be authentic, and I think that that really resonates, I think, with you guys and with my followers, and I would rather have that to resonate with my viewers and with you guys, and create like a community and a partnership, like, and work together and kind of like have this more kind of like a community, rather than like be this kind of like aspirational figurehead of like not realistic. And I think that I've shown warts and all. Plant Lady asked, I would love to know how your running is going, how often you run, and what other workouts you do. Love all of your videos. Thank you very much. So I was doing the Couch to 5K program, and then I injured myself it was around October when I was in France. I actually injured myself in France to the point where I really wasn't able to walk, and so I stopped the Couch to 5K again. So I have done that program 3 times. I made it to the second last run the first time, and then I was pregnant. I didn't know I was pregnant at the time, and I collapsed. I nearly collapsed. It was dramatic, but like, I was running up a hill and I was like, I'm going over, and it turned out I was pregnant. So I didn't continue on, and then when I got injured. So actually it's my intention to take up running again. I'm thinking probably I'll start in March, which is next week, and do the full Couch to 5K program again, because it's starting to get brighter, and my route to do the Couch to 5K needs to go through the dark. So I'm going to see. I'm also considering getting a running coach to check my form and check my gait. Tanya asked, any other self-help related books? I'm actually going to do another video on this, but I would really recommend the book by Dr. Perry, What Happened to You. My favorite song. So Laura asked me, what is my favorite song? My favorite song ever. My favorite song ever is When the Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin. That's my favorite song ever. Yeah. My second favorite song ever is Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. And then I have many other favorite songs. They're like When the Levee Breaks is my, like, that is my favorite song. And yeah, it's just, it's everything about that song. It's the way it gets you, like, you feel it. Like, does anyone remember the movie Almost Famous? I was obsessed with that movie when I was younger. And Palexia Aphrodisia says in it, these, like, they were talking about groupies and they just want to be near famous, whereas the Band-Aids, they love a piece of music so much it hurts. And that's how I feel about When the Levee Breaks, and many other songs as well. Like, one of my other favorite songs is Angel of Montgomery. I love that song so much. What else would be my favorite song? It depends on my mood as well. Like, Halo by Soil is one of my favorite songs, or Kryptonite by 3 Doors Down. I have so many random favorite songs. Yeah, but like, When the Levee Breaks and Wanted Dead or Alive, they're up there. Rainbow by Robert Plant as well. Ooh, and Little Maggie by Robert Plant as well. That's a hard one. What are my top 3 places on my travel bucket list that I want to go to? Iceland. I really want to go to Iceland. I'd love to go to Disney California. I know that's really pedestrian of me, but I just, like, I love, for me, as somebody who finds it very hard to turn off, like, my brain, one of the only times that I've actually, like, switched off my brain has been in Disney or in Universal, and I just find it, like, the world doesn't exist outside of that, and I love that. So I really want to go back to, and I love rides. I've thought I hated rides, but I love rides. I'm such an adrenaline junkie now. And where else do I want to go? Iceland. I'd love to go, I'd love to go to Asia. I have never been to Asia. I'm very lucky that I've been very privileged to have been able to travel quite a lot. I always want to go back to the States. I always want to go back to Canada. I've been to Mexico. I've been to quite a lot of Europe. There are other places in Germany. Like, I really want to go to Berlin. I've never been to Berlin, and I always want to go back to Italy. So whenever it's like a holiday time, I'm just like, I just want to go to Italy. Like, I just love it. It's probably because of my Italian blood. I love Italy. It pulls me towards it. Linda asked, how do I keep my hair so healthy looking? Well, thank you, Linda. I have stopped using heat on my hair. Nearly 100% yeah, like 95% of the time I use no heat on my hair, and that has made a massive, massive difference. I also eat really well and I drink a lot of water. That also helps, but I treat my hair really well these days. So I use one of those like heatless curler things. I can't go get it now because somebody's in the bathroom, and if I move too much I'll wake up Branagh who's next door. But the heatless curler things, I call it my silky sausage. I sleep in those. I wash my hair at night and I let it air dry. I use the JVN, I'll link these down below, the JVN air dry cream. That's it. Afterwards I wash my hair. At the moment I'm using the Herbal essences, the Argan oil one, the blue one, that's the shampoo that I'm using, and I use the conditioner by the Loreal, the red one. I love that. That is like, that's my ride or die conditioner. I've used that for like 20 years, I would say. Has it even been out that? 15 years? Something like that. 16 years. At least since my early 20s I've been using that. One of the things that's really helped is not using heat on my hair. So I don't like my hair straight. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it unless I like really treat it straight. Like my hair is naturally dead straight. I like more of a movement and wave in it. That's why I use the heatless curler. And if I let my hair air dry straight, it just kind of goes poker straight and just falls. Whereas I find with the heatless curler, there's more movement to it and I prefer it. And then I don't have to use a heat styling tool on it, which is amazing. And I'll leave the one that I use, the heatless curler. It's like £10 from Amazon. It's amazing. It's not amazing. It's like a silky sausage. It's just, it really works. And I have, as I said, dead straight hair. But one of the things I found that's really changed my hair is not washing it all the time. I wash my hair maximum twice a week. I tend to wash it on a Sunday and then again on a Wednesday or Thursday. They're my kind of like hair washing evenings. And I use oils on my hair. So after I get out of the shower, when I put the JVN on, I sometimes put a little bit of oil in the bottom of it, sometimes during, and I haven't been good at this at the moment, but like before I put the silky sausage in, I'll put a tiny bit of oil just on the ends just to kind of keep them hydrated. And then I get my hair dyed regularly every 7 weeks, and I get a cut every second, like a trim every second or third time that I get my hair dyed. I hope that answers your question. There's a lot that goes into hair, guys. And I only use silk scrunchies, not silk, but like satin scrunchies. I don't use elastic ties, and I sleep on a silk pillowcase in my silky sausage. I'm very sexy when I'm going to. Have you done a skincare routine video? I did a quick, in one of my last vlogs, I'll leave it linked up here, I did a quick like morning routine, and I think in my next vlog that'll be coming out this Wednesday, there is an evening skincare routine in that. Do I have any hobbies, or have or had any hobbies? Yes, singing is my hobby. I currently am not in singing lessons at the moment, but that is something that I am looking to get back into this year for sure. I love singing. It is my like absolutely like massive freedom. I just love singing so much. Shopping is also a big hobby. What are my go-to makeup products? If I could only use one brand for the rest of my life, I would say it would be Charlotte Tilbury, because it's just so reliable and it's just so wonderful. I love the beautiful skin foundation that she has. It's amazing. But also in the like drugstore brand, I would definitely say Catrice is my favorite brand. It's unbelievable. It's such good value. The majority of it is cruelty free and vegan. It's really amazing. And my go-to makeup products that I would never ever be without, like I will always wear mascara, I will always wear eyeliner, my like Cat Flicks, I will always wear them, and the NYX Epic liner is my go-to. I used to use the Kat Von D or KVD Beauty tattoo liner in Trooper, but I found that the color payoff isn't as good as and the staying power isn't as good as the NYX one. And I will always use Urban Decay Primer Potion for my eyeshadow. I just love makeup, guys. I love makeup. But I suppose makeup is also a hobby of mine. Like I am a massive makeup junkie, a beauty, like I love makeup and beauty, I love fashion and singing. They are my main hobbies. Okay, so there's an awful lot of questions about why I decided to give up my job. What was my career previously is another question. there were an awful lot of questions about my job and what I do, and as I was saying, the first question was the first or second question I think that Sandy asked about this is that yes, that I am a full-time influencer or content creator on YouTube, on Instagram, and I also create user-generated content for other brands, as I was saying. So that is my full-time job. I decided to give up my job for a number of reasons. So previously, I studied business and I used to be director of communications and ran a charity for 11 years. And I decided not to go back to work that job after having Brannock, because Half of Carla was where my passion was and where I loved working and spending my energy. And I feel that that is, after doing something else and working for somebody else for 11 years, I was like, I just want to do my own thing now. And this is what makes me happy. And the thought of going back to it, I think I would do a disservice to them, because my passion had gone for the work that I had been doing for so long. And honestly, that was a really stressful job for really bad pay. So I just decided that I wasn't going back. I love what I do now. I absolutely love it. And it's hard, and it's much harder than the job that I had before. But because it's for me, I love it so much. And it's really difficult, and there are definitely sleepless nights, and it's very stressful, but it's for me. It also allows me to be more flexible with my time in terms of having a son. So I, as I said, I don't work on Fridays-ish. I can't, because I have him and I have no childcare. The same on Thursday afternoons, and like rigid childcare. Like, I'm very lucky that my mom minds Brannock when I'm working. But for example, like, she'll mind him for a couple of hours, and I'll take him for an hour or two to give her a break, and then we'll swap. But like, that's not something I could do if I was in an office in town. Whereas that's something I can do when I'm here. I'm in our house and he needs me, I can go in next door or downstairs to him, which is just, I'm so grateful to have found a career that I have that access to my son. And I know that a lot of people don't have that, and I know how lucky I am. I also worked really hard for this. I put in an awful lot of hours, as everyone does in their job, and it just happened that my job allowed me to do this. So I'm absolutely amazingly grateful for it. So yeah, thank you guys, because you allowed me to do this by watching these videos and engaging with me. You've allowed me to live this life, and I love it, and I love what I do here. I really do. And I love hearing from you guys, and when you say things like that something has helped transform your thought processes, or you've started to seek therapy. And how did I develop and find my style? Iris asked me. So as I was saying earlier, like I think the main thing that I did was just seek inspiration and seek positive inspiration from others, and what kind of styles I liked. So my mom is extremely fashionable, has always been a very elegant dresser, and she's always been into fashion. So I've always just kind of gravitated towards fashion. I did a fashion interest course, a designer interest course as well. I just love fashion. So finding my style is just trial and error as well, because I've only been able to dress the way I want to dress for less than a year, really, because it's since I lost weight after I had Brannock, and I was like, I didn't want to invest in any clothes until I was back at my pre-baby weight, and I was pregnant a month after I reached my goal weight. So it's like just less than a year that I've been able to find like my style. And it's just trial and error, trying things on, going and like seeing what things look like, and not being afraid to make a mistake. And like there are a couple of things where I'm like, that wasn't a great look, but it's okay, it's all right. Just see what happens, see what you like and what you gravitate towards, and don't worry about rules and age and that kind of thing. Just see what you like and go for it. If you guys want me to do some kind of like video about fashion, finding your style or something like that, let me know down in the comments. Mindfully Mindy asked, how do I do my winged eyeliner? I have no idea, and I do have a video on that coming out on Sunday. Neve asked, what type of acrylic nails do I have, or what type of nails do I have? Do I have acrylic, and do I recommend acrylic? So these are my current nails, which are fantastic. They are my natural nails. I go to Nicole in Genevieve in Dublin, and these nails, what I have on top of them is a thing called structure gel, or gimme strength, and basically it just like makes them a bit harder, and then we use like a shellac or a gel polish on top of them. So I don't actually have acrylics and I don't have an overlay. I know that a lot of people use Biab or Builder in a Bottle. I've never used it, but it's kind of along the same principles, but we were doing this a long time before Biab came out, so we just kind of continued with it. I have psoriasis and my nails peel, and I have had this kind of nail for like 6 years now. I think I've been going to Nicole specifically for 5 years. Nicole is like, she's an award-winning nail tech, so, but they are like, I love having long nails and I can never be without them. They're my thing now. Do I find it hard not having Vincent's family nearby to help with Brannock? This lady Janice was in the same situation. Yes, it would be amazing to have them here. They're actually coming in a few days. I would love to have them here, especially for terms of the French element, so that he can speak more French. And somebody else asked me, will Brannock be bilingual? And yes, he will be. So Vincent speaks exclusively in French to him and I speak exclusively in English to him. So hopefully that he will be bilingual. And funnily enough, his first words, the first language, we were wondering which language he will speak first. The first language is cat, because he's meowing at Smushy. Smush, my cat, has this really weird like meow kind of meow, and Brannock is basically doing that. So they're talking, so at least they're communicating. So yes, we will, but he will be bilingual. And I do find it difficult, you know, like every bit of support that you can get is amazing, but I'm incredibly lucky that my sister lives 15 minutes away from me and my mum is here a lot. So I do have that support. I always have somebody that if I need like a helping hand or something, I can ask for it, because I would not have been able to do this without my family, especially with postnatal depression and having a relapse in postnatal depression. There's no way I would ever have been able to continue on, and like I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have my mum and my sister and Vincent, obviously. You know, that's a given because he's here with me all the time. Deli Don said, I'd love to hear about your heritage, please, Spanish or Italian. I am part Italian and the rest is pretty much Irish. My great grandmother was Italian. Where do I shop for clothes? I shop for clothes, and if I'm going to something or if I need something, my number one stop for clothes will be ASOS. And I think that's a little bit of like a legacy thing for me, because ASOS is where I bought all of my clothes, because they have a really good plus size section. Now I will still go to ASOS and gravitate towards it because I have the next day delivery, the like premium membership, I pay for that, which I just love. I'll always check like on ASOS, I'll check for Topshop, Miss Selfridge, and ASOS own brand. In Dublin, if I'm going out in person and online as well, I will shop in New Look, Stradivarius, not really Bershka. Stradivarius I love. I was really surprised by how cool Stradivarius is. And then I will shop in, there's two kind of smaller boutiques, Rebel alternative apparel on Crow Street, and Retro in George Street Arcade. I'll also have a look. And then Shop at Ella is a secondhand store which I've gotten a few pieces from. Dublin isn't great for fashion, to be perfectly honest with you. We don't have many small boutiques that have kind of cool stuff. I remember when we were in Austria, in Vienna, there were so many unbelievable boutiques. If money was, you know, not really an issue too much, I would shop a lot more in the Couples, Maj, Sandro, Reese a bit. I have a couple of like bits from Kildare Village, like the outlet stores that I kind of love. I love the Couples. I love Zadig and Voltaire. Like Zadig and Voltaire and the Couples are like, they are just what I love. Anina Bing as well. There, I don't have anything by Anina Bing. I would if money was no object. But online I have started a lot of like searching and seeking out secondhand stuff mainly on Vestiaire, which is where I go for that like higher price. So Zadig and Voltaire, the Couples, Dolce & Gabbana. I have a Dolce & Gabbana dress that I bought there. Depop, because we don't have vintage yet. A lot asking me about children in the future. I'm not sure, guys, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm still dealing with postnatal depression. So what's my favorite place I have ever been? It will be a toss-up. Funnily, I've always said New York, but I don't think I would say New York anymore now that I'm older. I think my favorite place I've ever been is just Italy in general. I I love Italy so much. I love everything about Italy, except the driving. Although my Italian heritage really comes out when I'm driving in Italy, I can tell you that. Does Vincent want to live in Ireland forever, or would you guys ever move to France? I don't think we would move to France necessarily. I would never say no, but we did consider it. We also considered living in Canada for a while, and that might still be something. We don't necessarily plan on living in Ireland for the rest of our lives. Ideally, we would like to have like blue sky thinking. We would like to have houses in different countries. That's, you know, who knows? One can always dream, but yeah, we'll see. We're not really, at the moment, we're happy where we are. I'm gonna end on this question from Amelia. She asked, how did you and Vincent meet? Vincent and I met in the most traditional way you can in Dublin, in a bar in the smoking area. 45 minutes before I met Vincent, I was sitting with a group of friends. It was about 3 months after my dad had passed away, and I was literally sitting there being like, my friend Alia hadn't seen her since my dad's funeral, and she was like, any men, are you seeing anybody? And I was like, you know what, I'm so happy being single. I have no interest in meeting anybody, and like, you know, I had a pretty checkered past with my dating history, so I was like, I'm just happy being by myself. And like, I was really starting to kind of like have a bit of self-respect for the first time in my whole life, and I was like, I don't want to meet anybody. And then we were in No Name Bar, and then we moved to Brussels, which is like where I drank every single day, or not day, well, sometimes I do. And we went downstairs into the Rock Bar, and I remember seeing this guy, and I felt like my whole world changed. It was as if like there was a shift in energy, and I felt that shift twice. Once was that day, and the second time was when I was driving and I had my realization about my negative self-talk. And I felt the whole, like everything changed, and I was like, well, that was weird. And I looked at him and I said, oh, it's not bad looking. And then I went upstairs, and I was really annoyed with one of my friends, because she was annoyed with everybody that night. She wanted to go off dancing by herself, and everyone was like, yeah, let her go dancing by herself. And I was like, she's a grown adult, let her go. I'm just gonna finish this cigarette, finish my drink, and I'm going home. And said very attractive tall man came upstairs, and it was for a cigarette as well, back when we both smoked. And my friend Barry actually turned to him and said, you look lost, my name is Barry. And they introduced themselves, and then Vincent turned to me and introduced himself to me, and I had, my whole shoulder is tattooed, my whole back is like, can you see, is tattooed, and I had plastic over all of it. And he asked me about that, and we talked for like 20 minutes, and he called me tough girl, and then he asked me would I like to go out for a glass of wine. And he was going back to France to go to a metal festival the next day, but when he was back, would I like to go for a glass of wine? And then he texted me when he was back, and we went for a glass of wine, and that's 9 years ago. The rest is history. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this little like personal Q&A with me. It's been really fun answering some of your questions, and I might film, like, let me know if you want part 2 of this, and because there were so many questions that I could get to, so I really enjoyed answering them, and I hope that you guys have liked watching this video. If you've made it to the end, please leave me a coffee cup for my slight addiction to coffee, and please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications, and like this video, and follow me on Instagram if you're not already, and vice versa. And I will chat to you all soon. Bye guys.